Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Idaho Export Partner Training. Before we get started, I would like to just go over a few housekeeping ideas and best practices, I guess, items. So one, as I just mentioned, all attendees are joined in listen-only mode. If you have questions, we do ask that you add those into the chat box. We'll try to answer those questions after each presenter, or we will answer them back in the chat box. For the sake of time, if we're unable to answer your questions, we will answer those thoroughly after the presentation, and all attendees will get a video, there will be a video recording, but you'll also get a follow-up email that will include all of the questions from today's presentation with answers in them. So hopefully we will have time also at the end for any wrap-up questions, but I just wanted everybody to know if we don't get to your questions right away, we will include those in the follow-up email. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and get us started. I first want to say thank you to all of our presenters and panelists today in joining us and taking the time. We very much appreciate it and glad to pull this together. Today, you will hear from multiple organizations, all poised to help Idaho businesses with their exports. I'm excited about the panelists today, and just to kick off to start, I wanted to just kind of touch on why international trade matters. Exports are incredibly important to modern economies because they offer people and businesses many more sorry, tongue twister. I need more coffee, I guess, this morning. I thought I had enough already, or maybe I had too much, one of the two. Basically, exports and also imports help businesses open up to many more markets for their goods, especially in today's climate. Many companies are looking at how to expand, pivot, or engage new customers all over the globe. International trade, including exports and imports, currently supports over 200,000 Idaho jobs, more than 1 in 5. A total of 1,534 companies exported goods from Idaho in 2016. 1,300 of those companies, or 85%, were of small firms. They generated 19.2% of Idaho's $4.6 billion in exports, which shows exports are not just for large firms. 95% of customers live outside of the U.S. Also, free trade agreements help to create an open and a competitive international marketplace. Almost 50% of Idaho's exports go to FTAs, free trade agreement markets. FTAs help put in place rules, laws, and favorable tariffs that put countries on a more level playing field and continue to increase trade with each other. Exports from Idaho to the world totaled $3.43 billion. Here you can see our top 10 trading partners for 2019. Canada and Mexico, which makes up the USMCA region, make up over a quarter of all exports from Idaho. The USMCA, what used to be NAFTA agreement, went into effect on July 1st, 2020. In addition to the USMCA, you can also see that the Asian markets dominate our top 10 export countries. Also, along with the UK and the Netherlands for 2019. Each export market is unique and comes with their own challenges and opportunities. For example, some markets are great for ag products, whereas others are more prohibited. And same can be said for technology or military and defense products. Each market sees a different makeup of what products are being exported from Idaho. Exports increase economic growth and diversify Idaho's customer base. Companies that were actively exporting during the previous economic crisis in 2008 fared better than companies that only relied on their domestic clients and customers. Now more than ever in today's climate, many businesses are being forced to evaluate how to expand their client customer base, which is why it is a good time to introduce or reintroduce you to all the partners in Idaho and how they can help with your exports. So with that being said, our first presenter I'd like to introduce to you is Jim Newton with the Small Business Administration.
This is Jim Newton with SBA's Office of International Trade in Portland, Oregon. I'm one of 22 international trade finance specialists that are located across the country, supporting small business exporters across the country. And I have the good fortune of calling on Southern Idaho, Montana, Oregon, Southwest Washington, Hawaii, and Guam. And I look forward to visiting Idaho again in the not too distant future when things get back to normal, whatever that may be. Next slide, if you would. Can you go ahead to the next slide, or should I?
Oh, can you not see it? Oh, hold on one moment. My slides are paused.
There we go. Now, today, I want to give you a quick overview of SBA's international programs. Let me point out that SBA, as the case with EXIM Bank and USDA, serve as guarantors, so that we are providing a guarantee on behalf of a small business exporter to be able to encourage commercial lenders to provide the working capital needed to build your export base and to develop new markets. The three programs, as shown, include Export Express, which is the most diverse program, the most versatile program that we have. It provides support for loans up to $500,000 and can be used for export market development, as well as transactional financing for specific exports, or it can actually be used as a term loan for the purchase of plant and equipment if needed to enhance your export effort. We also have the International Trade Loan Program, which is somewhat similar to Export Express, but supports loans up to $5 million. And it is intended solely as a term loan for the purchase of plant and equipment, or it can be used for permanent working capital if needed. In this case, it's all intended to support the international competitive position of the company. And by the way, that includes not just companies that are currently exporting or have an established export base. This is for companies that are wanting to enter into export markets, and it does require having a well-developed export plan, but you do not have to have been previously involved in exports. And then finally, our Export Working Capital Program, the EWCP, which is support for up to $5 million in loans as transactional export financing that follows specific orders or contracts or letters of credit. And it is very much transactional driven. It is literally what the Medicis were doing in the 1400s. These are self-liquidating loans that provide you with a working capital to purchase the materials, inventory that you need to be able to build out the product or whatever is necessary to deliver the service you provide, and to carry receivables through to collection, most often with the support of EXIM Bank Export Credit Insurance. But it's a program that has a lot of value added for small businesses that have that opportunity for a large incremental sale that they don't currently have the working capital support for. Next slide, if you would, please. And I do want to point out that these programs, the SBA international programs, are available to companies that are exporting indirectly to the rest of the world through another U.S. company that they are selling their product or delivering their service to, who is then sending that product or service onto export markets. As long as it can be documented, basically under the order that's provided or the on the letterhead of the buyer here in the U.S., it will qualify so that you get the benefit of a higher guaranteed support, up to 90%, to be able to secure the necessary financing for your production. And then next slide, if you would. And this is my contact information. I really do encourage you to get in touch either by phone or by email if you have any questions, or if you just want to discuss where you are in your export market development or in developing and structuring specific transactions. I'd be glad to talk. And on that note, I will introduce Jennifer Verdon with the Idaho Department of Commerce. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jim. And I just wanted to send much appreciation to all the partners that we have on this call. Just very exciting to get everybody together and just show our company some of the services and assistance that we all can provide for companies that are either starting to export or that are already exporting and they're looking to expand further. So again, my name's Jennifer Verdon. I'm the manager for the international team at the Idaho Department of Commerce. And you can see my team displayed here on the slide. All of these smiling faces, they are focused on assisting Idaho companies with their export needs. Each of the trade specialists in my team, they have a set of industries that they're assigned to and that they focus on to ensure we bring appropriate international opportunities to you, and we can kind of keep tabs on what's happening in the industry, on industry trends and the needs. So with the next slide, we'll hop right in and we'll talk about the services that we provide to Idaho exporters. Sorry. All right, having some issues on my end. The international team provides various services to Idaho companies to either start engaging in international trade or to expand their international business. Of course, COVID some of these ways, but we are still delivering our services, and for the most part, all their I'm hearing some feedback. If any of the speakers that are unmuted, if you could put yourself back on mute, that would be great. The first thing I want to point out is the state of Idaho has 3 overseas offices. We have one in Taiwan, which is covering Southeast Asia as well. We have one in China and one in Mexico. These are experts that are on the ground, and they're here to support you as Idaho companies and our economic developers around the state. We do co-manage these trade offices with the Idaho State Department of Agriculture, and Sarah Mata, who is also a speaker on this call, she'll touch on this a little bit further down the road when it's her turn as well. The next point on here that I want to highlight are consultations and market research. Again, the trade specialists in my team and our overseas trade office managers provide one-on-one consulting to Idaho companies to strategize on international markets, and that also includes market research. And I would highly encourage companies that are fairly new to exporting or have not started exporting that they take advantage of that service. Inbound buying delegations, I'll hit on quickly. We do provide front door service by bringing foreign buyers to Idaho to meet with companies in specific industries. This is really sales made easy, as my team vets the buyers that are coming to Idaho, and we bring them directly to Idaho companies to their front steps. The next one that is one of my favorites are trade shows. Some of the best returns on investment that we see is when Idaho companies travel with us to participate in Idaho pavilions at an international show. So the picture that you see here displayed on this slide is the Farnborough Trade Show in the UK, and we participated in that with 9 Idaho aerospace companies. So we do the heavy lifting of organizing the pavilion, and the companies can focus on selling their products at a lower cost than if they would purchase the booth on their own. As many of you probably know, trade shows are expensive, and international trade shows are even more expensive. So we share that cost with you, or sometimes really take on the heavy burden of sharing that cost, and we help you organize your participation. The next one on here are trade missions. We organize trade missions jointly with the Idaho State Department of Agriculture. You actually may see the biggest traction in Idaho media outlets because they are usually led by the governor. This entails organizing detailed itineraries for 10 to 18 companies to travel with us and the governor to a foreign market to meet with potential partners, customers, distributors, and so forth. And for the first time ever, we will organize a virtual trade mission in the spring of 2021 to Mexico. So if you are interested in learning more about this virtual trade mission, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or anybody else on my team. And then the last item I'll hit on this slide are trainings. Just as we are doing right now, my international team partners with service providers and experts to offer applicable trainings. And I just want to highlight real quickly that we are working on a Export Fundamentals webinar series, and we'll kick that off on October 21st. And there will be more information that will be coming soon on that. So stay posted on that. Next slide, please. One of the best parts of my international team is that we have money for you. So for small eligible companies to execute their marketing projects, we have some grant funds available. The State Trade and Expansion Program, is funded and administered by the Small Business Administration, so my colleagues like Jim Newton. And Idaho Commerce has since 2011 been successful in routinely securing STEP grants and being able to provide funding to small eligible Idaho companies to pursue their own export projects. So we don't have a whole lot of time to dig into the details on this, but what I wanted to highlight here is that the SBA is recognizing how the pandemic is changing sales channels and marketing needs. So therefore, the grant moving forward may be used in a wider range. And that could be for to include such things as website translation and customization, search engine optimization, e-commerce setup fees, international digital marketing, and many more items. We are currently working on the next funding round, so there will be more information coming very soon in the next weeks. Again, if you're interested, don't hesitate, reach out. We're happy to answer any questions on the STEP grant. And then next slide. And then finally, just a few touch points for you, our information on our website and all the different social media accounts that the Idaho Department of Commerce has. Please connect with us so you can stay up to date on events, grant opportunities, and so forth. And then my final slide, you'll go to the next one, please. Here's my contact information. Again, reach out with any questions you have. I'm happy to take any questions that you may have now, if there are any. Okay.
Well, don't have any right now, so go ahead.
Awesome. All right, so we'll keep on moving, and Amy Benson is our next presenter. She's a very dear colleague of mine, and Amy with the U.S. Commercial Service. Your turn.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm Amy Benson. I'm Director of the U.S. Commercial Service Idaho office, and I'm happy to be here to chat with you a little bit about the programs that we offer. So Andrea, we'll just move to our next slide. So the U.S. Commercial Service is part of the U.S. Department of Commerce, and we work with small and medium-sized companies to help export their products and services. And we do this through our global network of experienced trade professionals that we have in over 80 countries worldwide. And those people are located in our U.S. embassies and consulates. And our whole mission is to help U.S. companies increase your international sales. Here in Idaho, I cover the whole state, and I work individually with Idaho companies to help them use our global network to help connect those Idaho exporters with foreign business partners. We're very much results driven. Your success is our success. So whether you're looking to make your first export sale, or you're looking to expand your sales in a particular market that you have with the partner there, or looking to get into a new market, we can definitely help you do that. And so we do this through a range of services. So our first basket of services really falls under our export counseling. And that's where we work with the companies individually to develop a strategic international business development plan. So with each new market that we select, we help you develop the most effective market entry strategy that would be appropriate for that market, help you understand local documentation requirements, whether or not you have to be observant of export controls and compliance considerations, as well as look at financing options, maybe connecting you with some of these other panelists or other partners here in our local community. In addition, under our expert counseling, we actually have a relatively new e-commerce innovation lab, and that's really looking at e-commerce sales channels, helping you develop a digital strategy, looking at developing your website to be more open to global sales. So all that kind of falls under our expert counseling, and all those services are free of charge. In addition, we have market intelligence. That's where we're helping you really look at the local market conditions, including local laws, such as whether you have to be in compliant with maybe something that's equivalent to the FDA here in the US to be able to sell dental equipment. Or if you're certain European standards that you have to be in compliant with in order to sell your products into the EU. We basically help you navigate all of those considerations. In addition, if you've had a foreign partner approach you, we can help you conduct due diligence on that partner and really give you some considerations on whether they're the best person to represent you in a foreign market. We can also help highlight cultural issues as well under kind of our market intelligence. One of the things we're best known for is really our business matchmaking, and that's where we help screen business potential partners for you in foreign markets. Now in the time of COVID, we've switched over completely to virtual introductions. So we are doing our very well-known program, our Gold Key program with virtual introductions. So we are doing searches for Idaho companies in a select market, and then introducing potential partners to Idaho companies either through MS Teams or another platform that works well for both countries. So that's really an excellent service available to companies here in Idaho. And then, of course, in normal times, we work all the major trade shows around the globe, whether it's, aerospace shows in Dubai or agriculture shows. We do all the major trade shows and have a whole bunch of services at those shows. I won't touch too much on that because we've kind of switched over, at least for the time being, to be pretty much all virtual. Our next basket of service is really commercial diplomacy. As a US government agency, we can open doors that no one else can in markets around the world to help you navigate trade obstacles or engage foreign governments on your behalf. For example, one Idaho company was prevented from selling into a foreign market, and so we approached the government and got this regulation changed to allow them to now be able to sell into that particular market. So Andrew, we'll just move to the next slide. And this is where I said, really we are very much results focused. So every day I help Idaho companies grow their export sales. In Idaho this year, I've helped small and medium-sized Idaho companies realize $44 million in sales so far. Nationwide, our US commercial service clients surveyed increased their revenues by an average of $2 million, or basically 9% over the last 12 months as a result of our assistance. So, basically we're very much results driven. We want to help you get into international markets. We want you to find partners in countries. So if you're interested, definitely reach out to me. We can talk about how we can help your company expand your international sales. My contact information is on the following slide. Thank you for your time. And with no questions, I guess we'll move forward to Randy Bell with our Idaho District Export Council.
Thank you, Amy. And what a great follow-up. I work with both Amy and Jennifer and have for years on growing exports, and it's nice to be part of the program. Of course, so the Idaho District Export Council has been around for a while, if you want to go to the next slide. But my regular day job is actually with UPS. So whereas both Jennifer and Amy are working on a full-time basis on this, I have been working with them on a volunteer based with the Idaho District Export Council for several years. So who are the District Export Council? So there's 61 national DECs across the country, and they're almost 50 years old, so they've been around for a while. What's interesting about the members of the Idaho District Export Council and all of the District Export Councils are they are nominated by the local DEC, and then it goes to the U.S. Department of Commerce to go through a background check and to make sure that they're fully vetted to become a part of an appointed by federal U.S. Department of Commerce. Again, we're volunteer powered, so we really rely on those experts in the fields, whether they're from a customer standpoint or a vendor standpoint or all of the government agencies. And I'm very proud to say that the Idaho District Export Council works very well across all of the state agencies. And this is a great dovetail into what was already been talked about, but what can the District Export Council do? More specifically, what can Idaho's District Export Council do for you as an exporter? So you'll see on the services that are offered, we can help to mentor and counsel different businesses. We can identify export financing sources that have been touched upon. We can also go broader for community awareness for trade issues, and then also advocate for trade policy and legislation. There are also, as Amy just talked about, the supporting services such as like the Gold Key with the USIAC. We're very good to be able to point over to the services like that are. And then we also have done a great job here with our Idaho District, say that 10 times, the District Export Council from training and education. And so one of the examples that we've done is an Export Excellence Program. And that one has been nice because it's hands-on, puts you with an intern from Boise State and then a coach, and really work on your individual company's export plan. We also have been in the past done World Trade Day. That was fantastic to bring in companies from all over and to have an agenda of programs for that. Since then, we've really kind of pivoted over to the next is what are the events that we have. And so events such as this that we will support, some that we will organize from the Idaho District Export Council's view. Right now, due to COVID, it's been a little bit light on the activities for this year, but we do have, so I've put the website on so that you can reference going to the website to be kept the most up to date. But we do have an upcoming Fall Canada webinar that I don't have the exact date. Again, go to the website, but that one would be very specifically on how to export to Canada. What's available from a regulatory standpoint, how can you do that for your business? But be on the lookout, and we really encourage you to bookmark the website. So where each department that's already spoken has what they're going to do, the District Export website will have a nice mix of all those, and then the ones that we'll be putting on. So I really encourage everybody to go and stay up to date and utilize that to see what events are coming up. And if you want to go to the next page, just has my contact information. As Amy already mentioned, both Amy and Jennifer and their groups will help to funnel the interest to find out what customers need. I can also help with that. Right now, I have that volunteer. My day job is the Managing Director of International for UPS, so I've done international for quite some time. And then my volunteer side is the Vice Chair of the District Export Council that I work with Jennifer and Amy on. So are there any questions, Andrea? All right, well, without further ado, I will turn the time over to Sarah Mata.
Hold on, Sarah.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. So my name is Sarah Mata. I am a trade specialist with the Idaho State Department of Agriculture. And similar to Jennifer's team, we have a team of international people that work with us at the Department of Agriculture, including Chelsea Conlon, Laura Johnson, and myself. We also have a vacancy that we're working on filling. So we also have a team. We don't have a nice picture yet, but we'll work on that. So yeah, I'll just kind of go over a couple of our services. If you want to go and go to the next slide, Andrea. So first off, a lot of people are really surprised at the different industry sectors that Department of Agriculture covers. Of course, we have some of our typical stuff, such as your produce, your fruits and vegetables, but we really cover everything all the way to wine and beer, processed foods such as jams and jellies and dressings, even things such as candy. So we really cover everything all the way from farm to fork, as we would like to say. So next slide. So some of our international programs, as Jennifer mentioned, we do in partnership with the Department of Commerce. So our governor's trade missions, we also do in partnership with them, so we can bring both ag and commerce companies on those. And we also share those international trade offices that Jennifer mentioned in China, Taiwan, and in Mexico. So those trade office managers work with both of our departments at the Department of Ag and Department of Commerce, and they are experts in their respective markets, including the agriculture side of it. We also offer export consulting and education. So of course, things such as this webinar and other upcoming webinars, as Jennifer also mentioned, that we'll be having start in October. But really, we can, no matter which part of the exporting process you are in, whether you are a seasoned exporter and you have questions about a new market or some regulations, or if you are brand new and you're just trying to figure out, you know, export is something I can even do, then we have a team of people that are ready to help you and answer those questions as well. Market research, we have access to some of the most comprehensive trade databases in the world, such as Euromonitor. So we really are able to dial in and get some very comprehensive trade data that can help answer some of the questions that you might have about different markets, you know, approaching different markets. Inbound buying delegations, we do bring in buying delegations as well. So like Jennifer said, in fact, this week we will have one coming in of cattlemen from Mexico that we'll be taking around to introduce to different companies throughout Idaho. And we're doing that one in partnership with the USLGE, which is the United States Livestock Genetic Export. We also have outbound trade missions. We do a lot of those in conjunction with WUSADA, which I'll touch on again in a minute, which of course is just taking our Idaho companies right into those markets. And then of course, international trade shows. Also, as Jennifer mentioned, we tend to focus obviously on food and ag specific shows. A couple of those coming up that we will be participating in are Food Taipei in December and the Mexican Healthy Products Summit, which will be in April. Next slide. So some of the other ag-related export services that we offer are certificates of free sale, phytosanitary certificates, that's like for plants that are not processed. We do international retail and chef promotions. So this picture here is a retail promo that we did in Canada for Idaho Eastern Oregon onions. This is like a cooking demonstration. And we did do this one in conjunction with WUSADA, which is the Western United States Agriculture Trade Association. And Lisa from WUSADA is going to be talking much more in depth in a few minutes about their organization. We do a lot of activities in conjunction with them. They're comprised of the 13 Western United States Department of Agriculture. A couple of activities we have coming up with them is Gulf Food Trade Show in Dubai in February, and also Food X Trade Show in Japan in March. Next slide. Another thing that we do to help promote our Idaho agriculture companies are create international brochures in the local languages. So these are a couple that we have done recently. This is an animal feed brochure for China and a specialty food brochure for Taiwan. We use these brochures with our international trade offices, and they use them in their markets to distribute and help promote Idaho ag companies. Next slide. And this is just my contact information. So again, as everybody else said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Again, we have a whole entire team at the ISDA that are ready and willing to help you get started in exporting.
Great. So hi, I'm Lisa Hokanson. I'm one of the outreach and communications coordinators with WUSADA, Western United States Agricultural Trade Association. I'm the coordinator over Idaho, and I'm excited to work with our Idaho companies alongside these partners. So WUSADA is an independent nonprofit trade association that works with the 13 Western states, American Samoa, and the USDA to help small and medium-sized agribusinesses export their goods. Our organization's been dedicated solely to exporting for 40 years, which is why we've got the big 40. We're excited about that. And we received funds from the USDA's Market Access Program. This program is intended to support overseas marketing and promotional activities by U.S. companies. Next slide. So within our organization, there are 3 programs we offer our participants. Fund Match is the first one. It provides 50% cost reimbursement on eligible international marketing expenses. This could include anything from approved trade shows to promotional giveaways. We've also seen people get really creative lately and use this resource for options that don't require face-to-face interactions, such as TV and radio advertising, direct mail promotions, in-store displays, and sending product samples to buyers. Our second program is Global Connect, which Sarah mentioned earlier. This provides opportunities to explore export markets and expand global distribution through trade shows, trade missions, and more. So the idea is to get you in front of buyers and make connections. There are several great opportunities through this program to make connections and get one-on-one time in front of buyers, especially through our state-sponsored inbound and outbound missions, which is what Sarah just went over. More recently, our team has been providing a series of market overview webinars where they've been hosting in-country experts who are providing information on the current state of their market. So we've heard from several, the Philippines, China. We have one for Canada next week. So we've really enjoyed those. There's also been a shift to virtual options, such as buyer meetings and promotional videos to appropriately navigate the current global situation. Our third program is Export Education. This helps companies learn about the benefits of exporting and how to gain access to valuable market research and consumer insights through webinars and seminars. We also offer one-on-one consultations where you have the opportunity to discuss how our programs can meet your company's goals and how you can know which markets are a best fit for you. Next slide, please. Oh, so on our website, if you visit our website, you'll have access to our event calendar. And the calendar was updated recently to include all of our activities through 2021. And there's even an option to search by event type or industry focus. So we really recommend, and you don't need an account to see this information, we recommend that you go in and see all the events that we have organized. And some of them will say like ID for Idaho. You're welcome to sign up for any event though. So we really recommend that you look at that. Next slide, please. We also have our Fund Match guide, and that's a comprehensive look at our Fund Match program. This is also on our website. It provides a lot of essential information such as product requirements and eligible reimbursable expenses. So we recommend that people go on there and you can see it might trigger, this would be a cool event that I can go do for my organization. So we recommend people go on there. You can see there's 2020 and 2021. We just opened up our 2021 program year, so you can apply for next year.
Andrea, we lost the slides.
Yeah.
One moment, I'm not sure what happened. Can you see them now?
Yes, perfect, thank you.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
Can I go back?
No, we're perfect. This is
okay.
Great for this one. So I wanted to give you a success story from Idaho. So one of our participating companies is Amalgamated Sugar Company, LLC. So they're a beet grower and processor. They're located in Nampa, and in 2017 participated in the China Food and Forage Outbound Trade Mission. When asked about their success through working with WUSADA, they said that thanks to their participation in that specific trade show, they were able to ship approximately 14,500 tons to China, taking sales in that market from $0 to $2.6 million. And I am really happy to say that that's not just an exception to the rule. Part of my position is gathering success stories. So it's really great to see that this is a good example, but this is not the only example. So we can help you with your exporting. Next slide. So if you're interested in any of our program or would like to discuss in more detail how WUSADA can help your business start exporting, again, I'm your state representative, so feel free to contact me anytime. You can schedule a one-on-one consultation by going to our events tab on our website. We also have resources on our website mentioned previously, and we can be found on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Thank you so much, and I hope to work with you all soon. So if there are no questions, I can hand it off to Sandra with Ex-Im Bank.
Great. Yep, I don't have any questions at this time.
Thank you, Lisa. And Andrea, I don't think I see my slides yet. There we go. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. And also a big thank you to Andrea and Jennifer at Idaho Commerce for organizing today's event and having Ex-Im Bank be part of it. I'm delighted to be here and very much appreciate the opportunity to address businesses from the beautiful state of Idaho about the resources that Ex-Im Bank has to offer. So given all of your participation, those businesses that are called in today, it's clear that you understand that exporting represents huge growth opportunities for your business. But what may not be so obvious is that a key piece of the puzzle that is likely going to impact your ability to succeed and compete internationally and attract more customers is going to be financing. Financing in two fronts. Number one, having the resources to be able to fulfill export orders, the financial resources. And just as important, number two, is having the flexibility and the willingness to address your customers' credit needs when you start negotiating the repayment terms, because often that can make a difference between winning or losing a sale. So next slide, please. So for those of you that are not familiar with Ex-Im Bank, we are America's official export credit agency. So we're not a bank. We also do not offer resources to support imports into the U.S. Well, our primary mission is to support U.S. jobs. U.S. jobs by facilitating U.S. exports. And I'll explain momentarily how we do that. We have a long history of 86 years. We were established back in 1934, right during the midst of the Depression. So our programs have always been really well positioned to support exporters in times of crisis. Where, as a federal agency, our headquarters are based out of DC. That's where all the applications are processed. But to be more accessible to the exporting community, especially small businesses, we also have a network of field offices throughout the country, 12 regional offices, and I'm part of that regional office network. And our goal is to support all US-based companies that are engaged in exporting. And we can work with all sectors, from manufacturing, wholesale trade, services, ag, etc. But in order for us to be engaged with us, the product does need to be made in the U.S. because the mission, as I said earlier, is to support U.S. jobs. So we would require a minimum 50% U.S. content, and we measure content at cost of components, parts, materials, as well as labor. U.S. labor often will bring it up substantially. If it's an ag product, it needs to be produced in the U.S. And if it's services, the services need to be performed by US-based personnel. And Exim Bank, we work with all companies of all sizes, small, medium, and large. But we're very proud of the very strong support we consistently, year after year, bring to small businesses, which usually account for the bulk of our customers. Last year, for example, Exim Bank worked on more than 2,300 applications, and 89% of them represented applications that were submitted directly by small businesses. So no transaction or company is too small for us. And that applies specifically, next slide please, on our insurance program. Next slide please. Okay, so in terms of what we do, there's 3 different programs that Exim Bank makes available to you depending on where you are on your exporting activities and your particular situation. The most demanded program by small businesses that we offer is our insurance program, Export Credit Insurance. And what it is a rather simple concept. It's risk protection on your export credit sales. So if you are engaged in exporting and you require prepayment, it could be that you are losing export opportunities due to buyers that are seeking more flexibility on the payment terms. And if that's the situation, you could be benefited from our insurance program. Risk protection is the primary benefit of the program. It will cover you in the event of non-payment by your international customer due to commercial or political reasons. Commercials is, for example, buyer insolvency, bankruptcy, or situations that we refer to as protracted default, meaning the company remains in business, but they're not paying. And it could be due to various reasons. It could be, a lack of cash flow, perhaps due to the impact of the pandemic, which is, we're seeing a lot of that now, and it's rather relevant. It could be that a buyer gets purchased by another company that doesn't pay their debt, or maybe there's a downturn in the economy and that impacts cash flow adversely. Political risk is the more obvious types of risks, such as civil unrest, riots, war, revolution, or any government action that would prevent the buyer from making payment. It could be also foreign exchange restrictions. So even if your customer wants to pay you, if they cannot get dollars out of the country due to the imposition, due to a government action that prevents them from doing so, then Exim Bank would pay. And we can cover most of the invoiced amount, either 90, 95, or 98%, depending on the items that you're exporting and the policy that you elect to pursue. We offer 4 different options. And this program, in addition to risk protection, it can be used as a very powerful sales tool, because by offering customers flexibility on the repayment terms, and it doesn't need to be on the full amount, you could require perhaps a portion as a down payment, maybe 25, 30%, aside maybe as 50%, but the balance kind of leave your buyers halfway and give them perhaps 30, 60 days to pay, which is what most of the applications that we receive are asking us to ensure. So again, by giving buyers flexible repayment term, that's going to attract more customers to you, and it's going to help you win more business abroad. And in addition to risk protection and the ability to grow, you can also use the insurance to maximize your own company's cash flow. And that's because most lenders will finance foreign receivables, but typically only if they are insured. And all of our policies can be assigned to your bank. So instead of those foreign receivables being excluded from the borrowing base, now you can borrow up to 90% of the value of those receivables. So for example, say you have, I don't know, a $100,000 invoice to a customer in the UK. You've given them 60 days to pay you. Essentially, at shipment, when you create that receivable, you could borrow $90,000 instead of having to wait 2 months for that payment to come in. So it's a great tool, again, to maximize cash flow. The other thing that Exim Bank does is just like our friends at the SBA, we also offer a loan guarantee program by the name of the Working Capital Guarantee to help exporters that need financing to be able to either purchase the items that will be exported or to manufacture them. So this is a program where Exim's role, just like SBA, would be that of a guarantor. This is not a direct loan from Exim Bank because we're not a bank, right? But the intent is that by minimizing the risk, we're providing a strong incentive for the participating commercial banks to have more flexibility financing exports. Our standard guarantee is 90%, but due to COVID-19 as a temporary measure, we've increased it up to 95% optional for those lenders that prefer a higher guarantee, although the cost will be higher. And then the average loan amount under this program that Exim Bank offers is $3.6 million, but we really have no minimum or maximum loan amount limitations. It's really because it's a lender program where a lender engages with us for a guarantee, lenders do impose their own criteria. So it will be good to check with your lender. And then the third thing that Exim Bank provides is financial assistance for buyers located in developing countries that are purchasing capital equipment. So if you're engaged in manufacturing capital equipment, please pay attention to this program because it can make a huge difference in your ability to win more business in developing countries. Here, Exim Bank can provide 100% guarantee of repayment on a loan that will be made available to your buyer. And this loan will be made by, and we have a network of participating lenders that use this program. And the key benefit is that your buyer has access to perhaps a 5-year loan, a multi-year loan, while you, from your perspective as the exporter, as well as your lender's perspective, the risk is completely eliminated because Exim Bank can either insure or guarantee that loan 100%. But again, this is for capital equipment only, where usually it's bigger transactions and buyers are looking for more attractive financing. And last slide, please.
Sandra, this is Sharon. Andrea's computer froze, so if you can give us just a second, or if you want to continue talking and we'll get to your slide in just a second, that would be great.
Sure. So these essentially are all risk mitigating programs in the form of either an insurance policy that offers risk protection to you, the exporter, or in the form of a loan guarantee to encourage the banking sector to have more flexibility financing you as the exporter, or if you export equipment, again, we can also provide a guarantee of repayment on a foreign loan made to your customer so they can finance their purchase from you. And the idea is to turn these opportunities into actual real export sales. Okay. The last slide actually just has Exim Bank. It has all the contact information for the Western Regional Office. I am one of the members of the Western Regional Office, but we also have 2 colleagues based out of Irvine, California, who also share coverage of Idaho. And you can contact any of us as you have any questions, or if you want to run a particular export transaction by us and see if we could help. I would encourage you to please reach out to us. We would love to have the opportunity to support your export growth and learn about your export activities. So thank you.
Well, I'll introduce myself. I'm Tim Wheeler. I'm the business program specialist located here in our state office in Boise, Idaho. I work for USDA Rural Development. I'd just like to thank the Idaho Departments of Commerce and Ag for reaching out to us and asking us to participate in today's training. I would like to start off just by saying that although as an agency, we don't have any programs, or we're not as an agency geared up specifically to support export and exporting businesses, we do have business development services and programs which I'll be touching on today that can be complementary and help achieve some of the goals of the businesses that are looking into exporting or expanding their exporting options that they have out there. So hopefully we'll get the slides online here in just a moment, but I'll give you some quick background on who we are as an agency. We're described as a leading advocate for rural America at the federal level. Our agency is comprised of 3 main program areas. First, we have our housing programs that have a variety of programs focused on single family and multifamily services. Next, we have our community programs, which provides funding for municipal infrastructure projects like water and waste, and then other community-based projects like fire stations, libraries, hospitals, things of that nature. But today, I'm mostly going to focus on a couple different areas within our business program side of the shop, and that's really the side that I work in. So we'll move on to the next slide here. Hopefully they'll pop up. So today, I'm really wanting to focus on a couple areas that our programs can assist with. Just kind of the general topic areas are technical assistance. So with that, helping a business or prospective business answer critical questions necessary for business development and expansion or startup. And then also the other side is loans for actual project financing to finance business development, expansion, or startup. And within that category, we have really 2 primary programs that can assist with that. On the microloans and small loan side, that's loans of $250,000 or less. We have a program set up that runs through our local intermediary partner organizations to establish a revolving loan fund that's developed and supported with RD funds. And then the other financing side is we can also help with commercial loans up to $25 million made by commercial lenders and guaranteed by rural development. So just a little more detail on the technical assistance side of what we can help with. On the business, so again, technical assistance, we kind of look at that as business planning, marketing plans or market research, product development, loan information, and referral, and cash flow projections. So how that flows is our funds are provided to partner organizations for the delivery of technical assistance to businesses and prospective businesses. And it's unfortunately I don't have the slide in front of me, but I've listed several of our partnering organizations that I'll touch on real fast here. So Boise State University through their Tech Help division. So they provide manufacturing consultation services statewide. We have a partner up north located in Hayden called Panhandle Area Council. In the Lewiston area, we have Clearwater Economic Development Association. In Twin Falls, covering Magic Valley, Treasure Valley now, as well as Wood River Valley, is Region 4 Development Association. And then serving eastern Idaho out of the Rexburg area is ISIPTA, or the development company as they go by. And then we also have a partnership with the Small Business Development Center based out of their Nampa Business Accelerator site. So a little more information on the project financing side. So through our revolving loan fund programs, those RLFs that are set up can provide commercial loans for up to $250,000 for a variety of purposes, including real estate, machinery and equipment, and working capital. So rural development funds are provided to the partnering organizations to fund a revolving loan fund that then is used to deliver commercial loans to the businesses. So some of our intermediary or partner organizations are similar to the previous slide. Some of our partners who are involved in actually carrying out technical assistance. So again, Panhandle Area Council, they have a loan fund set up in the Hayden area, North Idaho. Clearwater Economic Development in Lewiston, they have a revolving loan fund, several set up and established with our assistance. And then Region 4 Development out of Twin Falls and ISIPTA out of Rexburg. So those are our partners through our revolving loan fund programs that we have available. Also on the project financing side, I wanted to just cover real quickly our business and industry loan guarantee program. So through this program, commercial loans up to $25 million are made by a commercial lender and guaranteed by rural development for commercial purposes, including real estate, machinery and equipment, and working capital. The B&I loan guarantee maximizes the loan structure potential for the benefit of the business by providing longer terms, which maximizes cash flow, provides flexibility on collateral requirements, and also provides for fully amortized loans, which eliminates early payoff requirement risk, protecting the borrower. So also a more recent addition to the program was provided through the B&I CARES Act in response to COVID-19. So this additional funds to the tune of approximately $1 billion, which will be available through this time next year. So there's additional funds provided through that, as well as program modifications and enhancements to the regular B&I program to help address impacts of the pandemic. So in collaboration with our lending partners, B&I CARES Act funds are to provide targeted benefit to those businesses in need of working capital to respond and recover. So as our name would suggest, rural development, we are limited to working in rural communities for the majority of our programs. So it's easier to say what's not eligible in that. So what's not eligible consists of cities or towns with populations greater than 50,000, and that includes the areas that are contiguous and adjacent to that urbanized area. So in Idaho, project must be located outside of the city limits of Idaho Falls, Pocatello, Boise, Meridian, Nampa, and Caldwell. So, and we urge you, if you have any questions at all, just reach out to us. And if you have a project location in mind, we can let you know real quickly if it's where it lies in our eligibility boundary. So, and on the final slide, I understand that there will be some information for all of the presenters and all the different partners out there as far as contacts on who to follow up with. So that my final slide has an overview of the Idaho team, Idaho Business Program team. So here in Boise in the state office, Daryl Moser is our program director. So he covers all the state of Idaho. I'm located here as well in Boise. I cover all of Southwest Idaho. And then Linda Miller is also part of our team. Out of our Coeur d'Alene office up north, Michelle Nordum is our specialist in that area. In Twin Falls, Jeremy French is our program specialist. And then over in Eastern Idaho, out of our Blackfoot office, we have Dale Lish and Sean Cafferty involved in business programs. So that's all I have today. I apologize that you couldn't see my slides, but hopefully those will be made available. And if you have any questions at all, I urge you to reach out to me. I'm happy to talk about any of the questions you might have involving our programs or ways we might be able to assist. Thank you very much.
Perfect, Tim. Thank you so much. Sorry for these technical difficulties. We're trying to pull up those slides. We'll definitely share all the slides. We can just share the whole PowerPoint along with the presentation. So it'll have everybody's contact information. And if there's any other questions, you can post them. We'll stay on for just a minute here, but anyone that needs to jump off, we're over our time limit, and just really appreciate everyone for coming and bearing with our technical difficulties today. And the Department of Agriculture and Department of Commerce are here to help you in any way we can. Appreciate everybody for coming today.